Today's top stories. Rhombus 1.1 is now available. Protobuf has LSP support. Reticulum Decentralized Mesh Network. GPT 5.6 Sol is the best vision model OpenAI ever released. ChatGPT's computer history tracks your clicks and keystrokes. Amazon is trying to crush class action suits before they get started. OpenAI reportedly disbanded its preparedness team, TechCrunch Mobility. The shifting flight path of electric air taxis. Anthropic CEO says AI backlash is fundamentally a crisis of trust. And crypto hardware wallet owners face fresh security risks after recent spate of personal data thefts. We start with Rhombus 1.1 is now available. Rhombus 1.1 is now available. Rhombus v11 Rhombus version 1.1 is now available. We are pleased to announce Rhombus 1.1 is now available from https://rhombuslang.org/. Rhombus is a general-purpose programming language that is easy to use and uniquely customizable. As of this release, add anot and anot, def as ways to define an annotation without directly writing meta time, i.e. macro code. Add as a binding form, which is sometimes more readable for naming than using, and provides a way to shadow an identifier that is bound as a binding form. Change class to bind inherited names using the corresponding superclass or interface reference. Change space. Enforce to adjust scopes in the same way as for a macro transformer when applying an identifier handler. FFI, add an initialized array variant of new, picked. Change explain anim to add a label as argument. Change picked rebuilt to replace as rebuilt, and also add as rebuilt argument to select the old or new behavior. The picked rebuild method also supports as rebuilt. Improve magic move and crossfade to better handle paragraph points and multiple instances of a child picked. Slideshow, add slide transition and continued page numbering. Thank you to Com. Protobuf has LSP support. Buff is proud to announce the first fully featured production-grade LSP server for Protobuf. The Language Server Protocol is the standard API for integrating language support into your favorite IDE or text editor, such as VS Code, IntelliJ, or NeoVim. An LSP server provides the smarts that power go-to-definition, code completion, finding references, and semantics-aware syntax highlighting. Before today, Protobuf lacked the same LSP support other major programming languages enjoy. We don't want to overstate our own work, but this is a game changer for Protobuf development. Protobuf now has modern IDE support for the first time, all powered by the Buff CLI. At Buff, we believe that Protobuf is the best schema language, thanks to its established ecosystem of libraries and tools. Protobuf shouldn't just be the smart choice. It should be the easiest choice, too. This is why we're releasing the Buff LSP server, as part of our family of tools that complete the Protobuf ecosystem, including Protobuf ES, used in Chromium, Proto-Validate, ConnectRPC, and the Buff Schema Registry. No matter your project or use case, developing with Protobuf should be the easy, obvious choice. Here is how you can TR. Reticulum, Decentralized Mesh Network. Reticulum is the cryptography-based networking stack for building local and wide-area networks with readily available hardware. Reticulum can continue to operate even in adverse conditions with very high latency and extremely low bandwidth. The vision of Reticulum is to allow anyone to operate their own sovereign communication networks and to make it cheap and easy to cover vast areas with a myriad of independent, interconnectable, and autonomous networks. Reticulum is unstoppable networks for the people. Reticulum is not one network. It is a tool for building thousands of networks. Networks without kill switches, surveillance, censorship, and control. Networks that can freely interoperate, associate, and disassociate with each other. Reticulum is networks for human beings. From a user's perspective, Reticulum allows the creation of applications that respect and empower the autonomy and sovereignty of communities and individuals. Reticulum provides secure digital communication that cannot be subjected to outside control, manipulation, or censorship. Reticulum enables the construction of both small and potentially planetary-scale networks, without any need for hierarchical or bureaucracy. GPT 5.6 Sol is the best vision model OpenAI ever released. Last week, OpenAI announced the GPT 5.6 lineup, introducing the Sol, Terra, and Luna models. During the release stream, the team focused heavily on computer use, showing models capable of navigating and operating desktop applications. OpenAI highlighted UI agents and detailed 3D visualizations, but both depend on stronger visual understanding. To measure their vision capabilities, we ran the models through our upcoming VLM benchmark, which we plan to release in the next few weeks. The benchmark covers common vision tasks, including detection, counting, OCR, and data extraction. In this post, we take a closer look at how GPT-5.6 performs across each of them. Sol is clearly the best vision model OpenAI has released so far. The jump is especially visible in object detection and counting, where GPT-5.5 was far behind the strongest VLMs. Terra and Luna are not as strong as Sol, but both show meaningful progress over GPT-5.5. Test Sol, Terra, and Luna in RoboFlow Playground, and compare their results with models such as Claude Fable 5 and Gemini 3.5 Flash across the same vision tasks. Object detection is where GPT-5.6 shows the clearest jump. GPT-5.5 scored 13.8 MAP at 50 NRB. ChatGPT's computer history tracks your clicks and keystrokes. ChatGPT's desktop app on macOS has a new feature called Computer History that turns your actions into training data, learning how you work, suggesting automations, and even picking up tasks you left half done. It uses your activity to build a timeline that ChatGPT and Codex can reference when you make a request. ChatGPT's computer history tracks your clicks and keystrokes. It's like Windows Recall, but without all the creepy screenshots. But it's still kind of creepy. The feature is opt-in, rather than opt-out, and you can exclude certain apps and websites from computer history, and you can delete entries if you want finer-grained control. Ari Weinstein, product and engineering manager at OpenAI, said on X that computer history will automatically ignore content in incognito or private browser tabs. In a quick demo video, Dominic Kundal, a member of the developer experiences team at OpenAI, shows the app looking up the last document he edited, checking if it was shared with people via Slack, and delivering a recap of how he spent his morning. The feature is definitely reminiscent of Windows Recall, but where Microsoft's controversial AI feature relied heavily on screenshots, OpenAI. Amazon is trying to crush class action suits before they get started. On Friday, Amazon customers received an email alerting them to an update to the site's terms and conditions. Most notably, it stated that disputes would now be resolved through arbitration, and said users agree to a class action waiver. Amazon is trying to crush class action suits before they get started. An update to its terms and conditions requires all disputes be resolved through arbitration. Amazon framed this as a fast and efficient way to resolve issues, but it notably would prevent customers from seeking the involvement of a judge or jury in most circumstances. Customers can still take Amazon to small claims court in certain circumstances, though payouts are often limited to a few $1,000s. The relevant sections of Amazon's legal policies page now read. You and we agree that any dispute or claim relating in any way to your use of any Amazon service, or to any products or services sold or distributed by Amazon or through Amazon.com, will be resolved by binding arbitration rather than in court, class action waiver. You and we agree that any arbitration proceeding will be conducted only on an individual basis and not in a class or representative action. You and we may. OpenAI reportedly disbanded its preparedness team. According to the Financial Times, OpenAI disbanded its preparedness team at the end of last month. The job of the preparedness team was to assess if models posed serious risks and develop ways to mitigate those risks. You know, like the possibility that it could go rogue and hack another company. According to FT, responsibility has instead been divided up for specific areas like bio and cyber, then moved into existing teams. OpenAI reportedly disbanded its preparedness team. It's just the latest shakeup of its safety teams as it heads toward an IPO. This is the latest change at the company, which has been in upheaval as it heads toward what is expected to be a massive IPO. Over the last few years, it's slowly torn down its more reach-led model, dissolving its AGI readiness and superalignment teams. Ethics lead Clay Backlash, chief futurist Josh Asham, and head of safety Johannes Heideck have all also left recently, leading some critics like Jan Lake, who resigned from OpenAI in 2024, to tell FT that the company was ignoring safety in favor of creating shiny products. The head of the preparedness team, Dylan Scandinaro, who was poached from Anthropic in February, will now focus. TechCrunch Mobility, the shifting flight path of electric air taxis. Welcome back to TechCrunch Mobility, your central hub for news and insights on the future of transportation. To get this in your inbox, sign up here for free, just click TechCrunch Mobility. Something was in the air this week because we had a heck of a lot of electric aircraft news. TSS. But really, it's no joke. Two of the bigger deals of the week involved companies developing electric vertical takeoff and landing aircraft, eVTOL. Together, they illustrate how the burgeoning sector continues to consolidate and seek out near-term revenue streams, even as they go through the lengthy regulatory process to eventually deploy electric air taxis. In one of the crazier twists in the nascent eVTOL industry, Archer Aviation announced that it now owns its former rival Wisk Aero. Under the terms of the deal, Boeing agreed to sell Wisk Aero and two other subsidiaries to Archer in exchange for an ownership stake in the company. Boeing now holds a 16.5% stake in Archer. The other subsidiaries are SkyGrid, a digital airspace and air traffic management software company, and drone maker In Situ. For those unfamiliar, Wisk sued Archer in 2021 over allegations of the brazen theft of Confide. Anthropic CEO says AI backlash is fundamentally a crisis of trust. Anthropic CEO Dario Amodei recently pushed back against the idea that he's been painting an overly pessimistic picture of artificial intelligence and how it might shape the future. Amodei's comments came in response to investor Gavin Baker, who argued, both on the All In podcast and on X, that Amodei's warnings about the dangers of AI have helped to fuel a backlash in the United States, particularly against data centers. Claiming that Amodei has lost the argument, when it comes to AI regulation, Anthropic has advocated for some regulations, including a California bill that imposes transparency requirements on large AI companies. And given that, he is about to be the CEO of one of the most important companies in the world, Baker wrote, I respectfully think he should make an effort to be a more positive advocate for his own industry. Baker is far from the only one arguing that AI skepticism and even government crackdowns are a natural response to the dire warnings of some AI executives. But in a series of posts, Amodei disagreed with the idea that his messaging has been disproportionately negative. Instead, he said that his writing has been about equally balanced between Crypto hardware wallet owners face fresh security risks after recent spate of personal data thefts. Data breaches at two shipping companies has put cryptocurrency owners with physical hardware wallets at greater risk of having their funds stolen, highlighting weaknesses in the broader tech ecosystem relied on by the crypto industry. In recent weeks, makers of hardware crypto wallets Trezor and SafePal reported that collectively thousands of their customers had their personal data and shipping information stolen during separate data breaches at their shipping partners. The crypto wallet makers provided their customers' names, home addresses, email addresses, and phone numbers to the shipping companies for mailing out their hardware wallets. The hacks did not affect the security of the wallets, a hardware device that stays offline to make it far more difficult for hackers to compromise from over the internet. Instead, the hackers targeted the broader supply chain of tech companies to obtain personal information about where high-net-worth crypto holders live. By stealing the names and home addresses of hardware wallet customers, the hacks expose crypto owners to physical attacks that rely on physically obtaining the seed phrase stored on the wallet by force or violence, known as RE. That's all for this news briefing. Thanks for listening. Also, don't forget to hit the subscribe button.